I know I'm a little bit late to this drama, and the reason why I'm covering it now is because this situation has actually gotten significantly worse, and this video will serve as a lesson to really show you that a lot of these Twitch streamers that a lot of people end up idolizing end up being some of the worst people imaginable. But what's new here really? The story begins with a Twitch streamer known as ExtraEmily and a Twitter account known as Ock2000 aka Yeet. All of you guys should probably know this guy by now, considering that he is one of the most prolific clippers on Twitter and brings everybody a lot of content. So where do we begin? First, we actually have to go back a couple of days and look at this clip that was taken from ExtraEmily's stream where this conversation happens.
Could you let me know? Did you pay the tuition, your college tuition back to us yet?
Yes!
This year?
Yes!
I never heard a mom say
Dad,
that.
don't bring that up! I'm gonna get canceled!
Yeah, cancel what?
Canceled on the internet! I'm hanging up. Bye.
Okay. So your chat heard this, okay? They can check it. You know.
Bye, Dad.
Okay, so why you avoid this topic?
Cause I got so much hate for it. You don't even know.
Oh, for this one? For this issue?
Yes.
Ooh, that doesn't sound good. We want you to pay us back happily.
Yes.
Not get any burden or something.
I'm hanging up. My dad is gonna go crazy. I'm gonna get another clip. I'm gonna get canceled again.
Now, don't get me wrong, the way that this clip was taken and the way that it was presented led a lot of people to believe that perhaps maybe ExtraEmily was one of these very entitled, privileged individuals that just took daddy and mommy's money and didn't pay them back even though she is a $1 million streamer. And again, to be fair, this isn't the first time that something like this has happened. A couple of months ago, even XQC took a jab at her for a similar issue.
Swear, Jack, I'm not grandstanding it, okay? But as a child, there's not a lot of people that you're indebted to. There isn't. And if you can never pay back your debts to your parents or whatever, and doing anything that they did to raise you or whatever, you can't. That's fine. A lot of people are not going to be rich, right? Not everybody's going to be a millionaire, right? And people won't be able to pay the debt. It's not a real debt, but you can pay back if you want to, as in like gestures as you grow up, like visiting them, whatever. But if you can't afford it, you can't afford it. But if you're rich, my opinion, you are indebted to your parents, absolutely 100%. Because without all the efforts, there's no you, right? So I think it's cool to give them a life that they worked for. Because if you give them some money, if they can afford to live a life that they want.
Now, the reason why I'm showing you all of this is to set up the story to explain sort of what transpired after the fact. A while later, Ock2000 made a follow-up post saying, shout out to ExtraEmily for filing a DMCA claim, and then he attaches two images where we see that Ock2000 had one of his posts removed due to a DMCA request. He also shows that he got locked out of his account, and also he made a follow-up post where he essentially proves that it was in fact Emily who requested this DMCA takedown. Now, let's take a look at what's exactly going on here. It starts with, where is this infringement happening? Twitter, and then we see the description. The original work is from my own Twitch live stream, ExtraEmily. I captured the work using my own setup and my own channel. She then links to her Twitch and then provides URLs that show where the infringement is taking place, which happens to be from an Ock2000 post. The content being reported is audio, visual, recording. The description of the infringement is, these clips are taken out of context of my live stream. I own my live stream content, and this account did nothing to make it his own. He just ripped the video off my live stream without changing it and is infringing on my work. We also see down here that she states, I have good faith belief that use of my material in the manner complained is not authorized by the copyright owner, its agent, or the law. And then it has authority to act. The information in this notification is accurate, and I state under penalty of perjury that I am authorized to act on behalf of the copyright owner. Now, those last two details are going to be pretty relevant later because it's a huge contradiction, and you'll see what I mean. But a little bit more on this. Given the fact that this is actually a small clip taken out of what could potentially be a 2 to maybe 8 hour, maybe to a 12-hour live stream, who knows how long the live stream was, but given the fact that it was a short clip, it's entirely fair use to utilize it for criticism. Somebody known as Dan Can't Tweet, Dan Can't Stream, Dan Saltman suggests that he should initiate a counterclaim and that he will pay 100% of the legal costs because this clip is absolutely fair use. Yeet then quote tweets that saying, yo, ExtraEmily, release the claim or I will counterclaim with Dan's help and seek restitution and attorney's fees. He won't settle either, LOL. Last chance before this spirals out of control for you. And it actually gets a little bit worse for ExtraEmily here as she completely destroys her own reputation even more. Emily made a response on May 20th where she said, "I was holding off on saying something, but I would like to stand up for myself. One, I pay my parents in 6 months installments. It's May. The next payment is scheduled in June. My dad is trolling and joking," which perhaps maybe is the case. I'll be charitable to her there. But then we get a little bit more critical. 2, I DMCA'd the clips because I knew Twitter has a hate boner for me and would absolutely blow it up, starting another massive hate train on an out-of-context clip where people just make assumptions about the truth. The internet did that anyway, so I guess it'll happen regardless. Love that. So to be clear, she didn't have a real reason to DMCA this tweet at all. She literally just wanted to silence a bunch of criticism or potential misunderstandings, which, to be fair, I fully understand, but at the same time, you as a creator should be prepared for people making assumptions about you off things that are out of context, because that's kind of a part of the gig. You sign up for that type of stuff when you become a creator. You can't stop people being malicious. It's just sort of what happens on the internet. That doesn't make it right, that doesn't make it okay, but there are a couple of things that you just have to deal with if you're being online. And to be clear, I'm not saying that Yeet is malicious at all. I'm just saying that potentially there will be people that will make bad faith conclusions, which would happen anyways, even if nobody did clip it, if they just so happen to watch like maybe 1 or 2 minutes of your stream out of context. It's just bound to happen. Now here's the juicy part. However, B-word, I don't regret DMCAing anyone. And when someone's main goal is to share drama baiting out of context clip that has no information and is most likely to start hate, why would I keep that clip up if it's just promoting harassment and they're making money off of my unaltered content? Now, to be clear, the reason why this part is important is because it literally showcases that she did not have any good faith, as it was stated in the takedown request that was posted by Yeet. Also, that last part, the information in this notification is accurate, and I state under penalty of perjury. Well, if it's enforceable here, I hope ExtraEmily enjoys that. So as we can see by this statement, Emily doesn't actually care about fair use. She doesn't actually care about DMCAing anybody unfairly. Her only goal is literally to shut down any sort of criticism or scrutiny, which is incredibly disgusting on the internet field and is widely considered to be one of the biggest sins when it comes to content creation or being a creator on the internet. And apparently, it also isn't uncommon for ExtraEmily to be abusing the DMCA features on these platforms, or at least on Twitter, according to this other Twitter user known as FearedBug. However, you can take that as you will. So what does this really mean? What does this really show us? Well, it shows us that these Kick streamers or Twitch streamers are petty, egotistical, vindictive morons that can't take even a little bit of criticism, a little bit of humility, a little bit of scrutiny. And don't get me wrong, while I do understand that maybe a lot of harassment or hatred can be really daunting, again, when you sign up to be a huge star on the internet, a huge content creator, you are going to receive a lot of scrutiny, you're going to receive a lot of criticism, and some people might be a lot more vitriolic and visceral than what you'd like. It kind of comes with the gig. Now, I know that I'm not anybody big to be saying that, but of course, there should be standards to abide by, and it just goes to show that most of these individuals don't really care for those standards. But that's pretty much everything that I've got to today. I hope you enjoyed this video. Have a good one.